Price is just going to go up or down. You idiot. Stop overcomplicating it. I'm going to show you in this video how you can simplify the hell out of it because you're probably doing way more than you have to do right now. I've been trading for almost a decade. I've made millions of dollars in Forex, stocks, and crypto, and I barely freaking do anything. Okay, you're probably a lot like me. You're probably a complete idiot because that's what I am. But somehow I'm still able to make money because I just keep things really, really simple. Let's go ahead and get straight into it here. I share a lot of my trades here in my Telegram channel. It's just a free resource I have that I've run for like the past 7 years for free. You can click the link in the description or somewhere. I'll put it somewhere like in the pinned comment or something, but I just share all my analysis in here. You can see, look, my charts are just black and white with these little cute blue zones, and I just use support resistance on the higher time frames, whether it's Forex or crypto or stocks. Like, I barely do anything. When it gets to resistance, I sell. When it gets to support, I'll buy. And I'll put the link in the description for this. You should join the free Telegram because it's a great resource to follow my trades. Now, here's what we're actually going to do today. We're going to go on the charts here. We're going to pick a random chart. Let's go ahead and I've got the random number generator here. We're going to generate a number between 1 and 15. We've got the number 2. So we're going to use the second pair right here, NZDUSD. I'm going to clear all the drawing. Actually, no, I'm going to keep these drawings here on the chart. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to replay, and we're going to click a random bar. It's going to take us back in time. Where is this? February of 2023. Then what we're going to do here is I'm going to show you how simple you can keep it. Okay? I'm going to show you exactly what to do. This is exactly what I do for every single trade I take in the Forex market. Crypto slightly different, stock slightly different, but it's all roughly the same concepts. I buy at support, I sell at resistance. I'm trying to stop you from overcomplicating it, you idiot, because price is just going to go up or down. You idiot. We're both idiots. We're both in the same idiot boat here together, rowing to Pip Island, trying to make a couple pips. So here's what we're going to do. We're on the daily chart. All we're going to do is we're going to draw a resistance zone above price and a support zone below price. And then we're going to buy at support and sell at resistance. I know that might sound crazy to you, you idiot. This might sound just absolutely insane. Like, okay, how are we just going to buy at support, sell at resistance? Way too complicated. You know, I've never done something that simple before. I always have a horrible habit of buying at resistance and selling at support. And I just don't know how I'm going to do it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to wait for price to come to support resistance zones. We're going to buy and sell. So this right here, price has bounced at this resistance zone. We could have actually taken a sell right here, but you know, I was talking and I wouldn't shut up. So now we've missed a great trade there, but not to worry. We have a support zone right here. Price has broken back above this support zone. It's testing as support. So since it tried to break below and come back and retest as resistance and bounce and it failed, it's broken back above. So it's broken back above and it's come back to test as support. So now it might bounce back to the upside. One of two things are going to happen. Pay very close attention because a lot of you guys will obsess over this and it's completely ridiculous and it's a complete waste of time. You will think, okay, there's a price of the market makers here and then it went up and then we failed to make a new high. This is an upwards thrust after distribution. And then liquidity swipe below the lows to take out the buy side liquidity for the retail traders and the Wagyu beef institutional order block candle with the Kobe steak bullish. Japanese candlesticks trade. You don't have to do any of this trash, okay? You're looking at the chart. Leave the narrative out. You do not know what the hell is going to happen. Just don't even try to give your little narrative. Don't try to give your little spiel. Nobody cares. I don't care. You don't care. The market doesn't care. Nobody cares, okay? If you think it's going to go up, then buy and then set your stop loss in order to control risk. I'm going to show you every single thing, how to do this step by step. This is literally exactly what I do. I'm going to teach you for free. And then on top of that, make sure that you're keeping things ridiculously simple, blatantly, painfully, just obsessively simple. You should be laying in bed at night naked, thinking about me thinking about keeping things simple in your trading because that is the best way I found to do it. And I've coached 4,500 clients over the course of the past 7 years. Okay, I'm uniquely qualified to tell you that keeping things simple is the best way to go, as long as you're combining it with proper risk management. So I think price is going to go up right here. Here's what I'm going to do. Okay, it's very crazy. I'm going to buy the support level. I'm going to put a stop loss below the support level and below that recent low in this case. And then I'm going to put a target at a 1-to-1. Now, remember, it's just going to go up or down. You can close the trade whenever you want. If you want to close it early, that's perfectly fine. You can close it, a little bit, in loss halfway to the stop if you don't think it's going to work out. You can close it at break even if it doesn't look like it's going to work out to you, or you can close it early before the target, though that's not the best idea. Usually if you get a winning trade, you should hold it all the way to the target, whether that's a 1-to-1 like I like to use when I start my trades off, or sometimes I hold to a 1-to-2 or 1-to-3. It just kind of depends on the situation. It's almost never a 1 to 3. It's almost like it's a 1 to 1 to a 1 to 1.5 to maybe a 1 to 2 if I got a really good high quality opportunity. But I try to get the hell out of trades that look like they're not working very well. So I just get out quicker on the losses than what I hold on the winners. So we're going to play it forward. It's going to go up or down. We're not going to overthink it. So in this case, it goes down and it hits the stop loss. Sweet. Now what we'll do is we'll just adjust this zone up here slightly because now this might be the actual resistance zone. And now price gets back into the resistance zone. So what we'll do is we'll enter a sell. We'll put a stop above the resistance zone and then a target below. Now remember, it's just going to go up or down. We don't need an explanation. We don't need a narrative. All we're doing is we're using support resistance zones. And we're not using support resistance zones because we think we can predict where price is going to go, because we can't. Support resistance has no predictive power. If you think that support and resistance is going to allow you to predict where price is going to go, you are a schizophrenic, delusional individual and need to go get into some therapy. Or you could just keep watching my videos yelling at you to drill it into your head that support resistance does not predict where price is going to go. So you may think to yourself, well, hold on, bro. If you can't predict where price is going to go, support resistance, then what's the point of using it, bro? Because why are we going to use support resistance? Here's the usefulness behind technical analysis in general, particularly support resistance. It gives you an amazing way of controlling risk. That's it. It gives you a place to say if price gets there, then I can buy or I can sell. And I can put my stop loss just past that zone. So if I'm wrong, I lose a little bit, and perhaps even close a little bit earlier, break even or a small loss before the stop. And then if it goes into profit, you'll just hold it a little bit longer. So now if you only ride half the time, right? If you take 10 trades, you win 5, you lose 5. But on the 5 that you win, you made a little bit more. And on the 5 that you lost a little bit less. You're a profitable trader and you're barely doing anything. You're literally being a complete idiot. Because what? Price is just going to go up or down. You're probably overcomplicating it. You idiot. You stupid idiot. But it's okay. I was an idiot for like 2 years before I figured this shit out. And then I realized wow, I can still be an idiot and be profitable by keeping things really simple and controlling risk. So we've entered a sell here. It's just going to go up or down. We're not going to be schizophrenic. We're not going to be paranoid. So in this case, it looks like it's going to go up. What I am going to do, I'm going to elect to close this right here around the entry, around break even, just because we look like we're like channeling up into this zone. We're hitting it multiple times. It's not easily going into profit. So it goes up. So now we're going to buy whenever it pulls back here into the support zone. So let's go ahead and buy right here. We're going to put a stop below this zone and below the recent lows. And we're going to put a target of just for now 1 to 1. We can always extend these later, but just a 1 to 1 target. So in this case, it looks like it's broken below the zone. So it breaks below, goes in as the stop loss. Fair enough. We avoided a stop out on the previous one. So whatever. Now, we're back here at another support zone here on the daily. You should only be using daily, 4-hour, weekly charts for these zones, because if you're not, then you're running into a lot more pain in the ass. With this zone here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm probably just going to take this off here in a second if it doesn't look like it's continuing to be respected. We're just using daily support resistance. We're waiting price to get there. We're buying at support. We're selling at resistance. So in this case, price gets into support. Let's see if we get a little bit of a reaction here. Might be able to buy. No, looks like we're going to have to sell instead. So price comes back into this resistance zone, tests it, starts to bounce. We're going to enter a sell there with a stop above and a target below. We're going to let it play out. Looks like it's not going to work out. Goes to the stop loss. And now we've broken even on 1 and we've lost 3 freaking trades. So this is why it's important to make more in your winners versus what you lose in your losers. I'm going to show you some cool stuff that you could do right here. Okay. So now price gets into support zone again. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to enter a buy. Same old stuff. Put a stop below the support zone as well as the recent low there. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend the profit target up here into these highs. Okay, now we're going for kind of a long shot. This is a 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio. What I'm also going to do is if this trade starts to win, what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to add to it. We're going to try to get in a little bit more volume on the winners just to kind of show you that even if you're right half the time, wrong half the time, you can make more. So first what we're going to see is we're going to see if it starts going into profit to begin with. If it goes into loss, we're just not going to add. If it goes into profit, cool. So this starts going into profit. Now what we're going to do, let's go to the 4-hour here and let's just wait a second to kind of see if we start falling back or to see if we kind of hold above this area. So it looks like she's been trying to fall back. We need to wait for a pullback. Okay, so we get a little pullback there and it looks like it's trying to go back to the upside. Cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to add. Now here's how we're going to add. What I'm going to do is I'm going to press command on my Mac. So I press the command and then I'm going to click right here. So I've clicked. So now it creates a duplicate of this little risk reward. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to buy right here again. Okay, the same profit target. Okay, we're not doing anything crazy. Same profit target. And what I'm going to do for this first position is I'm going to put this first position stop to break even. All right, now I'm gonna keep this right here just visually that you can see where the original one was. But I'm going to put it to break even for this one. And then now I'm just going to add a 1-to-1 here. Now, here's the worst thing that can happen on this, right? Worst thing that can happen is that price comes back to the entry, stops out at break even for that first one, and then it also hits the stop loss on this. So we lose 1 unit of profit, right? If you're risking $1,000 on this and now you have both trades on, you lose $1,000. Now, the best thing that can happen, especially since we have evidence that price is already trying to go up, best thing that can happen is we make 3 units of reward. Okay, so let's see what happens, Maybe it loses, maybe it wins. So this one rockets up, it goes to the profit target. Okay, so let's talk about what the hell just happened. We got into a trade, and we saw that, maybe it gets to the top of the range. It could probably go a little bit further than a 1-to-1. So we just extended the profit target to 1-to-2. You get a 1 to 1.5, 1-to-2 risk reward ratio. Then what we did is we did something real nice and fancy. We waited for evidence of the price action showing us, look, it is in fact going up. We're not using mental gymnastics, right? We're not using this foggy lens of delusion that we're looking at the chart like, maybe it's going to go up, but it's just been dropping 1,000 pips over the past week or two. No, we're looking at the chart and saying, yes, we got into a trade and it did in fact start going into profit. We've added to the winners and we've tried to cut the losses short. But to be fair, a lot of these losses were really sloppy, right? A lot of these could have been closed early, but I was just showing you if you're a complete ape and you have no idea what you're doing, you're just letting it hit the stop loss without managing it dynamically, then, it is what it is. Now you take the stop loss. But check it out. How many trades have we taken here so far? This is 5 trades right now, right? Well, I guess 6 if you count both of these entries. And out of these 6 trades, how many have won? We've won 1, 2, so that's 2 trades, but the other 4 were... we lost 3 and we broke even on 1. If we count this break even as, not really a profit or a loss, right, but we still took a trade, that means we lost 3 trades, but then we did not lose 3 trades, right? Because we won 2 and then we broke even on 1. So those were not losses, but we had 3 losses. So this is 3 trades lost and 3 trades that were not lost, roughly a 50% win rate. And check it out. In this case, we're still break even. And again, this is break even without even managing these trades early. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep on running through this little scenario here. I'm not gonna do anything here with I'm not gonna sell here at this. Actually, I might sell this resistance zone just to make a point, just to show you guys that, like, even if you really suck at trading, you can still do this. Okay, so here's what we'll do. We'll go ahead and just sell here at this resistance zone, but we're gonna do it with a tiny stop loss because it doesn't have to be far. I think it's gonna break past the resistance zone. That's my experience speaking here, but we're gonna pretend that we're just complete idiots like you. And we're going to just sell right there. We're going to have a profit target at a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio just for this one. And let's play it out and let's see what happens. So best case scenario, we'll make plus 1 unit of reward. And worst case scenario, we'll lose 1 unit. So it starts to go into profit. And this one, in fact, hits the profit target. Okay, cool. So now on this backtest simulation, we legitimately have 1 break even. We have 3 losses and we have 3 winners, right? And yet we've still come out in 1 unit of profit on this. Okay. 3 losses, 3 winners, 1 break even. How many trades is that? 3 plus 3 plus 1. That's 7 trades. So in 7 trades, we roughly have literally like a 50% win rate. Break even on one of them, and then 3 losses, 3 winners. Boom, 50% win rate. But we've still come out in profit plus 1 unit of R. And that was with the first 4 trades not working out. A lot of you guys who were delusional are probably watching the first, like, this dude has lost every single trade. And the one trade he closed early at break even would have lost had he held it. This guy sucks, he can't trade. I was trying to make a point that even if you're not even managing these trades dynamically, and even if you're just literally holding it to the stop loss, right? Even with that, without that little edge of intuition, discretion, experience, you could still be a complete freaking dumbass and still be able to make money trading. And again, this isn't just my opinion, because actually, it kind of is my opinion, because I can't really guarantee you anything, because trading is risky and most people lose money. The only thing I can really guarantee you is that there's a really high percentage chance that most of you watching this video are going to lose money. It's not because you're idiots. I'm just kidding. It is because you're idiots. But then again, I'm an idiot too, and I still make money. Trading is risky. You're probably going to lose money. You shouldn't be really doing any of this shit. But the thing that I have learned is that if you just position yourself in such a way where you make a little bit more when you're right versus what you lose when you're wrong, After every 10 trades or so, just using these little small risk reward ratios, I come out anywhere +1 to +2 units of profit. Guess how much I risk per trade? Anywhere from $20,000 to $50,000 per trade. That is how much money I risk per trade right now. Let me just show you. This is my private group in Discord where I call all my trades. Right now, I'm up $35,000. This past month, I'm up $130,000. The closed trades last week was minus $65,000. You can see some of these trades like USD CAD, for example. I lost 10,000, 10,000, 10,000, so that's 30 plus these 3K losses. So I lost about $40,000 in that one trade. NZD/USD, I lost about 13,000 on that. USD/JPY, I lost almost 15,000 on that. So I'm closing the losing trades early, and every time some of them hit stop loss. And guess what? If only one of these trades win, Euro GBP, for example, I make $70,000. Let me just show you this right here. This is Euro GBP, right? This is how much profit it is in right now. If it just falls here on the daily to the profit target that I have designated here, all these positions, the basket of them is going to make me like $70,000 to $75,000. That's going to make back all the losses from all the other trades that I took last week that lost. And on top of that, I got NZD/USD here. If this just bounces from here to here, it's a $30,000 risk on NZD/USD. This is going to make me $30,000 of profit. And I'm not doing anything different than what I just showed you there on the daily chart here in this little backtesting replay mode thing. It's just buying at support, selling at resistance, and then managing the risk dynamically based on what you see price doing without making any speculation, without diving deep into all the nuances and uncovering the ancient Japanese scrolls of the Kobe steak, Wagyu beef, bullish institutional order block, candlestick, entry strategy. We don't have to do any of that. You don't have to go back in time or study history to look at the damn chart and be able to say, look, it's going into profit. Yes, it's going up. Sweet. Okay, what do? We're going to close the trade. We're going to add to it. We're going to manage it in some way. We're going to close partial profits. We're going to move the stop up. There's a bunch of things you could do dynamically, which is why I call my trades out live in this group. And I've done this shit for years. I just call the trades out live, and it's the same old simple shit over and over and over. Buying at support, selling at resistance. And I post my screenshots, my terminals, my entries, how much I'm risking, the lot sizes, the margin percentage used up, everything. I just show it all right here, and you can see it all. And we've had some really, really, really good weeks in here over this course of the past month and a half. This was the prior week to this. The prior week to this, after swaps and commissions, I made $37,000 in profit. We came out on top. So if I only come out 1R or 2R after every trade, if I'm risking an average of $40,000 per trade, and that means that I come out anywhere from $40,000 to $80,000 profit every 10 trades. And sometimes it can be a lot more. And sometimes it's just break even. This, at that point, this was like, what, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, 9/17. Where are we at? September 28th. So this is just over 10 days ago, like 11, so almost 2 weeks ago. This is where we were at on the month before I made even more profit, right? $175,000 of profit, and minus the swaps and commissions was like $30K. So that, whatever, minus that, it's like $140,000 profit. And this was just over the course of like 2 or 3 weeks. Whenever you run into these win streaks doing this, you get these huge freaking win streaks where, look, I'm making $10,000, $20,000 on a trade here, losing $30,000 on a trade there, making $30,000 on this trade here with Euro JPY. I've got close to a break even on GBP CAD right here with a $1,000 profit. And I do the same shit over and over and over again. It's a black background on the charts, whether it's my MetaTrader 5 terminal or TradingView, with a blue zone representing the daily zone. And I just buy at support and I sell it. I buy at support and I sell at resistance. I don't know how to make it any simpler than that. Like it's that's why I call you an idiot so many times in this video. You may be thinking like, this guy's insane. He's just delusional. He's going on and on about how easy and simple trading is. And on top of doing that, he's insulting my intelligence. He's calling me an idiot. Guess what? Most people lose money trading. Therefore, in fact, most people are idiots when it comes to trading. You may be a good wife or a good husband in real life. You may have kids and be a great parent. You may be really good in your career. But when it comes to trading, 95% or more people are going to lose money. And the rest of the people that aren't losing money are barely making enough to survive. You're getting into the low single-digit percentages of people who can actually make millions of dollars doing something like Forex stocks and crypto. And again, I'm uniquely qualified to tell you this because I'm one of the people that has literally sacrificed everything in his life to be able to get here consistently for a decade. So I'm here, and I'm telling you, the only way you're really going to win is by keeping things simple and controlling risk, because that is the only thing I've seen consistently, predictably work for the over 4,500 clients that I've worked with over the past 7 years. Whether it's people who have followed my trades here in this Discord group, people on my YouTube video and Telegram and Instagram, all this other shit. Like the ones who keep it complicated are the ones who lose. That's how you'll know real quick if somebody can trade or not, is if their trading strategy involves a million different dynamic, complex points of criteria to be able to enter a trade. Meanwhile, I'm over here with the black background, white candles, and some blue zones saying, look, Euro JPY, I'm selling at resistance. I put a stop loss above and a target below at 1-to-1. And the same shit. Look, I showed the terminal from when I enter. So I'm short on Euro JPY, $40,000 of risk. And then look, it bounces sometimes. Sometimes I make money, sometimes I don't. I win half the time, I lose half the time, but I make a little bit more when I'm right versus what I lose when I'm wrong. In this case, it went to $30,000 profit, and then it ended up hitting the profit target. So Euro JPY fell, and check it out. That was it. It was like a $31,000 profit. It's the same stuff over and over again. This is what I've done in this MFX Nix trades group that I've been running for like almost 2 years now. And I'm not really doing anything else that I'm showing you here in this chart. Look, what are we doing here? We're buying at support. We're selling at resistance. We adjust it as time goes on, right? Because stuff like this, we start seeing like, okay, it's not really being respected very well. So we have to adjust the zone to what we think it is. That's why I do it live, is because it's so much easier for people to follow it and see it live. Because whenever they're following those trades live and they're seeing it all, they're learning through experience. They're learning that like, okay, the price is going up or it's going down. Here's how Nick is approaching it. Here's how he's managing the trade live. Being able to see it all live really helps you develop a lot of experience. So you saw just over the course of 7 trades right here, we came out plus 1R. Roughly every 10 trades or so, I'll come out roughly plus 1 to plus 2R. That's a positive, efficacious system over time. And when you're risking high dollar amounts, like say you're risking $1,000 per trade, and you take 10 trades, and after every 10 trades, you come out $1,000 to $2,000 in profit. And again, this is barely doing anything. This is yawning, stretching, not even finishing your cup of coffee. You can see I still got some coffee left in my coffee mug. It's going to spill on my computer if I try to do this. You don't even have to finish your coffee. It takes 15 seconds to do analysis. Let me show you right here. Let's show you the live market environment right here. There's literally so much simple stuff. NZD/USD, the daily, the weekly, the 4-hour chart. I use the combination. Don't at me. I use the combination of everything. I just use the higher time frames. I'm not drawing zones on the 1-minute chart or the 10-second chart or the 1-second chart or the 100-millisecond chart. I don't do that shit. I go to the 4-hour, the daily, the weekly. I kind of put everything together. I just draw the areas that I think price had major bounces at, then I buy or I sell. NZD/USD, it came in the support zone. I bought here at the support. I put a stop loss under the support, and I've got a target up here at a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio. It's either going to bounce or it's not. If it starts to not work, I'll try to get out of it at break even or a smaller loss. And if it does work, I'm going to try to hold it to the profit target. I'm going to make a little bit more than I lose long term. Euro GBP. What did I do? I've sold at resistance, okay? And again, like these are actual trades that I'm in literally right now. Like this is Euro GBP right now. You can see I sold at resistance. I sold right here in the zone when it hit and started bouncing. When we got a better entry and price came up to the zone, I sold again with a tight stop loss just above the zone. And then lo and behold now, like check it out. These are in, I mean, almost all this profit so far is just from Euro GBP, $35,000, and this is barely, I mean, it's barely halfway to the profit target. If this thing goes to the profit target, honestly, this is probably going to be more than $70,000 of profit. We're going to see exactly where it goes, but we're gonna see. So that's Euro GBP. I sold at resistance. The weekly, the daily, even the 4-hour. Like it's all the same stuff. If you zoom out on the 4-hour, it's like looking at a daily chart when you're zoomed in a little bit. So I mean, it's just super simple. I think it's gonna bounce. Okay, I sold at the resistance. It's gonna go up or it's gonna go down. Whatever. USD JPY, right? I'm waiting for price to come up here to this resistance zone. Then what am I gonna do? I'm gonna sell when it gets there. It's not hard. It's not hard. You're the one that probably makes it hard because you overcomplicate it and you throw a million different things into here when you don't have to. It's so stupid. I see so many people doing a bunch of shit that just does not matter, and they do all that stupid shit at the cost of things that really do matter. Price is just gonna go up or down. You can't predict where it's gonna go. You can only get in when you think it's gonna go up with controlled risk, putting a stop loss in place and risking an appropriate amount. And then whenever you think it's going to go down, you get in, you enter a sell, you control risk, put the stop loss at a place where if you're wrong, it's going to take you out. And you just manage things dynamically. If it starts going against you, try to get out a little bit earlier. If it starts going at a profit, hold the trades to the profit target. And in some cases, you can even extend the profit target or add to the winning trades. That is why I do it live here in my group, because a lot of people learning those little individual details of what exactly to do whenever price starts moving into profit or moving into loss, That is where the edge comes in. You as a discretionary manual trader using your intuition and subjective judgment and opinions about what you think is going to happen completely based on your experience trading, that is what gives you edge. And you lose that edge if you try to make it mechanical. You lose that edge if you put in a million of these stupid criteria. I've got 10 criteria that has to be fulfilled every time I trade. And I swear, none of it's subjective. It's all objective. Like price does this and this and this and this and this, and I enter a trade. Guess what? Everybody doing that shit is losing money. The people who are not using their discretion as a manual trader, watching the price action and kind of getting a feel for it, using all their experience they've got over the course of watching price action for years and years and years. The ones who are not using that discretion, they're not profitable. They're going to tell you they're profitable. They're going to swear they're profitable, but you try to code their systems into an algorithm with exact, dynamic, objective, black and white rules. That shit's going to fail every time. I've seen it. I've tried it so many times. I've tried it dozens of times. I've watched so many algorithms blow up over and over and over because they have objective rules. The only way you do it is by using your fucking brain. You have to use 2% of your brain. You have to give 2% of a shit and just look at the damn chart and look at what price action is doing and make the decision and the determination as to what you think is going to happen. You close early, you hold it. Do you add? Do you move the stop loss a little bit closer? Is it okay to add in loss? Is it okay to only add in profit? You know, what is it, right? You only learn this stuff through experience, which is why I call all my trades live and I just show you step by step. Hey, I'm moving the stop here on Euro GBP. Hey, I'm adding to Euro GBP. Hey, I'm doing this position sizing on Euro GBP. Hey, I'm going to close partial profits here. Hey, I'm going to close partial losses here and hold the rest. And then if it comes back to break even, I'm going to close there. Like it's just, I just show all the individual steps that we can see it live, because then you learn, your brain gets trained automatically. Like, okay, in this situation, generally we'll do this, but in that situation, generally we'll do this. And your brain kind of learns how to be dynamic about it. So that way you don't even really have to think in kind of a logical, rational way about it. You can just look at what's happening, and then your intuition will present itself as a feeling, where it manifests as a feeling, and where it's like, hey, probably the best decision right now is just close this. And you won't really be able to explain why, or you won't really know why, but it's all your experience that your subconscious brain has gathered as a result of doing this shit for over and over and over, seeing me call my trades and YOLO into trades, risking 50K per trade over and over, that you start to kind of understand, like, okay, I may not be able to put into words exactly why I think this is going to happen, but I think it's better if I were to like not add to this trade here. Instead, I'm just going to move my stop to break even. But then in another situation, you might say, like, I should close this trade at break even. In another situation, you should say, you know what, I'm going to close this trade. It's halfway to the stop loss. I don't think it's going to work out. I'm just going to exit. So you close the trade halfway to the stop. It ends up going to where the stop would have been, and then you end up losing only half of what it was your original risk was. That saves me a ton of money. If I can close a trade that was 30K risk halfway to the stop, and I only risk 15K, I lost 15K instead of 30K because I used my judgment, my intuition, my subjective discretion, and the discernment of the price action. That's where your edge comes in. Do not belittle your edge, and do not negate your edge, and do not push away your edge, and do not try to fight your intuition. That is what's going to be the make it or break it in terms of like discretion and trading. So your USD JPY, I think it's going to go up here, and then if it goes up here, then I'll probably sell this resistance zone. What will the trade look like? Follow my free Telegram. You can see, how I'm planning all these out, and this is going to look something like that. It's just like a sell at the zone, stop above, target below. It's not hard. Same thing on USD Canadian dollar. So USD Canadian dollar, there's this resistance zone right here. We don't even need this. We need the daily. That's it. That's all we really need. If price comes up here into this resistance zone, then I'm going to sell. That's it. It's going to come up here, I mean, I don't know if it will, but if it does come up there, if it's going to go up there, then I'm going to wait till it gets there. I'm going to sell. I'm going to put a stop above the zone. I'm going to put a target at a 1-to-1 risk-reward ratio. And then boom, it's either going to break. And if it breaks, I'll either lose the trade, or maybe I'll close a little bit before the trade loses and take a small loss, or it'll just bounce right there, and then I'll make a profit. 20K, 30K, 40K, 50K. AED JPY, let's see if there's anything there. Price could come up here to this resistance zone and then bounce. So let me set an alert up here at the resistance zone. And if it gets into that resistance zone, what I'll probably do is I'll probably just sell. I'll sell the stop above and a target below. I don't even have to draw the long short position size tool anymore. Because unless you are truly a complete idiot and you're clueless, where's the entry going to be? Okay, gold sticker for you if you said it's going to be right here at the zone. Where's the stop loss going to be? Well, Nick, I think I should put the stop loss up here just to be safe. No, you dumbass. It just goes right above the zone. Okay, it's very easy to duplicate. In my opinion, I can't guarantee you anything. All right, I'm not trying to get sued, but like all I'm saying is that, like, in my opinion, it's not that freaking hard to just draw an area where prices bounce very obviously on the higher time frames, and then tell a person, look, bro, if you enter a trade when price gets there and you put a stop past the zone and a target of at least just 1-to-1 risk reward ratio, just when you're getting started learning and everything, you can always extend it later, optimize it later, add to winning trades, shit like that. But when you're just getting started, you have no clue what you're doing. Enter a trade at the zone, put a stop past it, 1-to-1 risk reward ratio. Watch what happens over and over and over again. Collect data from 100, 200, 300 trades. And then over the course of time, you're going to start learning what works and what doesn't. You're going to start being able to say, you know what, in this case, I should close that trade earlier. I should not take this trade or this and that. Then you're going to start winning a little bit more than you lose. And then boom, after every 10 trades or so, if you're coming out 1 unit or 2 units of profit, that's great. Now you just scale up your risk per trade. You know, you take 10 trades a week and you're risking $1,000 per trade, but you're coming out in profit about $2,000 every 10 trades. That's $2,000 a week. That's $8,000 a month. That's 6 figures a year. After tax, you can live a pretty decent life here in a place like Fort Worth, Texas. Please don't come to my house. So with this right here, 80 JPY, I'm going to sell at this resistance zone. I'm going to do the same shit for all the other pairs. Check it out. These are my zones on Euro AUD. Use your imagination about how the trade will look when price gets to one of these zones. You know, what if it comes back here to support zone? What's the trade going to look like? And again, this is the support zone, right? Because it was support up here, resistance here, support here. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy for thinking it might bounce there again. The stop loss will go below the zone. The target will go at like a 1-to-1. You'll notice the stop is not super close, right? I don't want to get pinned out if price just does like this little like quick fake out through the zone and comes right back above it. But it doesn't need to be way the hell down here either, right? It just needs to be right there. Perfectly fine. Just not too close, not too far. 1-to-1 risk reward ratio. Barely has to bounce at the zone for you to make a profit. GBP JPY, you know, I see nothing here. AD USD, I see a zone down here. Use your imagination for how the trade structure is going to look. And we don't even need all this stupid price action there. All we need is these most recent 3 little lows right here. Price comes down to there, might bounce, might not. GBP CAD, my zone of resistance there, zone of support here. This is a sell I actually took. I called this trade in the next trades group like a week or 2 ago. This one ran into the profit target. That's good. Euro USD. I'm going to go ahead and take this out because that looks sketchy. And this maybe we'll buy at support. Euro JPY. If price comes back here into this zone, I'm going to be looking to buy. This turns to a little break and retest trade. It already kind of has. It already like broke above the zone right here. And then it came back and tested as support and has now pushed up to the upside. So maybe it'll set up again. Maybe it won't. But if it does come back there to test it on the daily chart, it will still be good. We're currently at a resistance zone. So perhaps this week I will look to sell Euro JPY. Let me set an alert just a little bit higher up here at the most extreme high. You know, right where that little wick is over here. Okay, what the hell is going on? Okay, I'm trying to show you this little arrow thing. Okay, so right there. See where that wick is? That's why I set the alert up there, because that's the little extreme high where it came to. So perhaps I'm going to move this to the top. This actually doesn't look that bad. I think USD JPY also looks good, perhaps a little bit better, but Euro JPY doesn't look bad. Get to that area, and then the trade would look like what? What would the trade look like? If price comes up here, we sell at the resistance zone with a stop. That's actually a good place for a stop. Just right there. Just right past it, and then a target down here. Look how easy, just look at it. If it hits that zone, it starts going sideways, and then it starts breaking above, you could just close it a third of the way or halfway to the stop. You take a small loss. If you enter and it just instantly bounces and goes and hits the target, it doesn't have to move very far to hit the profit target. I didn't even have to go back to the next zone down here, right? Like, look at how tiny the move is in the higher time frames. If it just oh my God, look at this. Just one candle over here, last time it was here, moved like 260 pips. If this just moves from here down to here, even if it takes a couple days, and that's like 80 pips, 90 pips, if that little tiny move just happens, especially after we had shit like this happen, where it just has a huge move off the zone. If a tiny move like this happens, then you're out of the trade and profit. And if you're not out of the trade and profit, you're out of trade and loss. Well, the trade doesn't take like a month to play out, right? It takes usually a couple days. A lot of these trades take me just a couple days that I'm in. Some of them like a week or 2, but most of the time it's just like a couple days. The majority of them are under a week, right? It's just like a couple trading days. And it's so freaking easy and simple to do. I'm not even going to go through the rest of this analysis right here, because you can just look at my charts. You can pause the video. You can see where all my zones are. You can perhaps structure your trades similar to how I might structure my trades. And, you know, if you really just want to see it, just join my free Telegram channel and just follow the shit in there. I post all the analysis in there. everything, whether it's crypto, whether it's stocks, whether it's Forex trading. I've run that channel for 7 years, since the summer of 2018, since I was just a wee lad. And now we're past summer of 2025. So I've been running this shit for like over 7 years now. Oh, I feel like an old man sometimes. Join my Telegram channel. It's first link in the description or the pinned comment. I'll see you in there, my friends. I'm going to head out now. I've got a busy day today, Sunday. It's going to start with finishing my coffee. See ya.